Hello everybody, Cyfox here, and today we're going to talk about weeds. So, let's get started. Now, the first step in dealing with weeds is basically detecting the fact that you have weeds. So this field has its first stage of weeds. If you look at the very bottom right, you can actually see it in the field info that weeds are at 100%. You can see the weeds throughout the field, and you can see how they're not uniform. You can see them popping up. That's the first step in checking to see if you have weeds. The second way is to look into your map under filters, under soil composition, and you can actually see that this whole field is full of weeds. There are two growth cycles of weeds. So if you look at these ones, they're much smaller. They've just grown in. This is the first stage of weeds. And if you look at these guys over here, this is the second stage of weeds. They are much taller. You can see them way easier. They have colors on the top. They're just way bigger. And this is the second stage of weeds. And it's very important for the next step, which is picking your tools. We are at the shop. Our weeds are still at the first stage of the growth cycle, and now we're going to pick our tools. So if you go under tools, you go under weeders, right? And these three are the ones you're going to want if it's under the first stage. They're just equipment. They kind of remind me of disc rowers, as they just kind of comb over the field and take out all the weeds. These basically all work the same except for this one. This one actually plants as it goes if you wanted to, but we are going to use this one right here, the TS 1520 M3. I'm gonna go ahead and buy this one, seeing how I'm gonna be using it every day. And you just go to it and back it up like any piece of equipment if I can drive right. And now we're attached. I'm gonna meet you at the field and I'm gonna show you how this works. We are at our field and I'm ready to go. I have the weeder already lined up. I'm gonna go ahead and unfold it, and then as soon as it's unfolded, I'm going to lower it. And what I like to do after I drive straight is just hire a worker. Now, if you look, you can see that the weeds are now gone. It's just going to comb over the field. It's not going to destroy the field. And it's going to take out all the weeds. Weeds are now gone with the weeder. But it's very important that you know this, that it only works on the first stage of weeds. Only the first stage. If you go to the second stage and they get to the bigger ones with like the flowers on top and all the colors, it's not going to work. It will not work for that. But the good thing about the weeder is that as soon as you buy it, that's it. You don't need to buy anything to go with it. You just use the weeder as I'm doing right now, and it will take care of your weeds for you. Now on to the second tool. Okay, real quick, I'm back and I actually have some second growth cycle weeds over there. I just want to show you that this one does in fact not work for the second growth cycle of weeds. So if you look, it's taking care of the first growth cycle, and then as we get to the second growth cycle, it's just not going to work anymore. It's going to not pull them out. It's almost as if the weeder wasn't even there. So just to show you that it does not work for the second growth cycle. We are at our field, and this is the one we weeded. It's almost ready to harvest. There's no weeds. We're doing great here. Now we're at the second field, and we did not weed this one. And we allowed it to get to the second growth cycle, and their weeds are just everywhere. You can see at the bottom right, weeds are at 100%, and this is a problem. So let's go to the shop and let's get this problem taken care of. We're at the shop and we are looking for tools under crop protection. Now these are the guys that we're going to be using. These are actually also used to fertilize the field as well, but we're going to use something a bit cheaper, with something I think a beginner would use, which is the PF 1500 and the Deltis 1302. We're going to use both these guys. Now if you have where the workers buy the product as they're going, you're not going to need both of these, but just for the sake of it, I'm going to go ahead and grab these. So grab this guy and grab this guy. Oh, and I almost forgot, there is another one under crop protection for vehicles. These guys are extremely big for massive fields. For anybody using a small field, you're not going to want to use these, but they do basically the same thing. But back to these guys. So this one with the arms goes on the back. If I can steer. Okay, there, that one goes on the back. And this one, the little guy, goes on the front. He just basically adds more storage. Okay, now you're gonna need something to put in it. So if you go under pallets and you go to herbicide tanks, this is what you want. You can actually see the little logo on the bottom right, just to make sure that you have the right one. And you go to it just like if you're refilling your seeder or maybe your fertilizer, and you hit your refill button. And let's go to the back. Okay, and he's all filled up. Now I'm going to meet you at the field and I'm going to show you how this works. I am at my field and I'm all lined up, so the first thing I'm going to do is unfold it just to make sure we're all lined up. This one actually has a pretty long reach when you're using it. And I got one more step to unfold. Now I'm going to turn it on, and what I like to do is, of course, hire a worker, let him do his thing. And now you can see that as it's spraying, all the weeds are dying. And now it doesn't completely get rid of the weeds per se like the weeder, but it does take care of your problem with the weeds. Like, they're not going to give you that negative 20% to your yield. And you can also see on the map, see if you look on the map, you can see how the weeds are now just being taken care of. And there you go. And that is how you deal with weeds. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and you have a nice day.